What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sinceres here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for March 25th, 2022's Vendor Reset. So let's get right into this to see what we got good for this week. For our first gear items, head over to the meat locker. Here the weapons vendor has an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to the base of operations. Here the Dart Zone gear vendor has some tactical gloves with the Talent Savage. Next here, we got a prototype performance mod with 6% first aid self-heal. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the weapons vendor here, we got a military Scar H. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the gear vendor here, we got an operator mask with the talent refreshed. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a classic M1A. Next here, we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent inventive. Next here, we got some tactical gloves with the talent savage. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a classic RPK 74 blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here, we got a first wave PF45 blueprint with a gear score of 256. Also here, we got a stamina gloves blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here, we got electronics vest blueprint with a gear score of 256. And also here, we got a quick release magazine blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, head over to the cavern. Here, the gear vendor has a Spec Ops pack with the talent inventive. Next here, we got a prototype stamina mod with 3% damage to elites. For our next gear items, head over to Camp Clinton. Here, the special equipment vendor has an MP7. Next here, we got an infantry MG5. Also here, we got an operator mask with the talent rehabilitated. Next here, we got an operator pack with the talent relentless. Next here, we got an extended magazine. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a military M9 blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here, we got a firearms mask blueprint with a gear score of 256. For our next gear items, head over to Dante's Run. Here, the gear vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 263 stamina and 3% skill haste. For our next gear items, head over to Autumn's Hope. Here, the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid ally heal. For our next gear items, head over to the Grindhouse. Here, the weapons vendor has a lightweight M4. For our next gear items, head over to West 31st Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dart Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4% sticky bomb damage. For our next gear items, head over to West 34th Street Checkpoint. Here, the Dart Zone vendor has an enhanced PP19. Next here, we got an operator pack with the talent specialized. And also here we got a high velocity magazine. For our next gear items, head over to West 42nd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone gear vendor has a Tyrant suppressor. For our next gear items, head over to East 58th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops armor with the talent vigorous. Next here we got an operator pack with the talent relentless. And also here we got some Spec Ops gloves with the talent savage. For our next gear items, head over to the Park Ave Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone weapons vendor has a Black Market M60 E6. For our next gear items, head over to East 53rd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 267 firearms and 3% skill haste. For our next gear items, head over to DZ3 Safe Room. Here the Dart Zone weapons vendor has a tactical AUG A3P. And also here we got an MG5. For our next gear items, head over to DZ4 Safe Room. Here the Dart Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4% turret damage. For our next gear items, head over to DZ5 Safe Room. Here the Dart Zone weapon mod vendor has a loud vent brake. And also here we got a vertical grip foliage green. For our next gear items, head over to DZ8 Safe Room. Here the Dart Zone gear vendor has an operator vest with the talent vigorous. For our next gear items, head over to DZ9 Safe Room. Here the Dart Zone weapon mod vendor has a 5.52 hollow sight. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video for March 25th, 2022's Vendor Reset. I hope everybody tuned into it, found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all. Appreciate that support. Check me out on Twitch, Instagram. Appreciate that, and I'll see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.